Hey George, it's Rissa, and I am at Okayama Station. I am about to go get some Starbucks and then catch my Shinkansen to Kyoto. So come join me on my vacation. Alrighty, I have arrived in Kyoto. Got off the Shinkansen around noon, and then I checked my luggage in at like a storage unit. So now I'm just walking around. I'll try to find some food soon because I am getting hungry. Yeah, it's time to just kind of explore the city. So first things first, I just walked around the station looking for somewhere to eat, and I came across this gate, and so I decided to check it out. I ended up walking around for a while looking for a restaurant and not being able to find one, so I ended up heading back towards the station and grabbing some food at a Chinese restaurant there. Which ended up being perfect because it was Christmas, and I always eat Chinese food on Christmas. At 3 o'clock, I grabbed my suitcase and headed to the Blossom Kyoto, the hotel I stayed at. When I checked in, I got about 9,000 yen worth of coupons, which were awesome because I was able to use them at the hotel restaurant and bar. Just got to my hotel room and it is huge. I knew this place was nice, but I guess I didn't realize how nice. Then here's the closet. Oh. So yeah, I just want to shower and relax. But wow. So I showered, watched a ton of Netflix, and then I panicked about where to eat dinner. So I finally settled on Gochi's Pizza, and it was really delicious. I hadn't really had pizza in Japan other than Domino's, so it was nice to actually have pizza. So I just got back from dinner and I feel exhausted. I had no idea how much of a mental toll choosing restaurants is. Yeah. Lots of people will say that Japan is perfect for introverts because there are so many restaurants where you don't even need to speak to someone. You just go to a vending machine and you pick what you want, you sit down, and they serve it to you and you don't have to talk to anyone. And that's great, but also it's just so hard for me to find a place to go. I spent so much time just researching restaurants, and I was getting conflicted results as to whether the restaurant was open or closed. And I'm thankful I just went, but I was hungry at 6:30 and I didn't get dinner until 8 because I spent all that time just trying to find a restaurant, and that is so exhausting. So I'm really glad that I ended up booking things for my trip here, because if I had to plan this all now, I don't know that I could do it. But I'm really, really proud of myself for not getting McDonald's today or something familiar. So I'm just gonna chill, maybe watch some Netflix, eat my haichus, and that's my first day in Kyoto. Good morning. It is a new day. Woo! I just got dressed, did my makeup, I'm drinking some tea, but I'm about to head out for the day. My plans for the day: I want to go to the bamboo garden. After that, I want to check out some temples or shrines nearby, and then I have my Sake Brewery tasting and tour at 3 o'clock. In the evening, I really want to check out the public bath in our hotel. Did not pay to stay here, did not use it. The unknown makes me anxious, and so I tried watching lots of YouTube videos on etiquette for those situations, as well as the specific facility and where things are located. So hopefully I don't make a complete fool of myself today. And as for dinner, I'm probably just gonna eat at the hotel. It's going to be pretty expensive, but my heart can only take so much. So knowing that it's planned, it's here, and it's gonna be tasty, it'll work for me. All right, so I gotta go check out that bamboo.
So I arrived at the Bamboo Gardens and it was about a 10-minute walk from the station, and it was much smaller than I was expecting. There's not a lot to see there, but the sounds were beautiful and the surrounding area was so gorgeous with tons of little shops and restaurants. I tried finding a cafe, but they didn't have sit down, so I left and tried to find another one, and I ended up at X Cafe Kyoto. I'm not really sure what I ordered, but it looked cool, and you had to like grill these until they were warm on both sides, and the white one got dipped in a honey soy sauce, and then the green one was dipped into like a red bean paste, and I love red bean, so it was actually really good and really filling. In the afternoon, I head towards my brewery tour, and it was awesome. I ultimately discovered that I still don't like sake, but I was able to speak with lots of other English speakers from all over, and I didn't realize how much I missed that. I also learned so much information about sake and how it's brewed, and I found that if I am going to drink sake, the one I enjoy is the most expensive one, so joy of joys. For dinner, I went to the hotel restaurant and I got the course set menu. And I am so proud of myself because it was full of food that I had never had and ultimately didn't think I would like, because I don't like fish. Look at all this sashimi. I don't even like fish, but this fish was delicious. And so was the chicken. I could do a whole nother video on the foods here, but everything was so good and I was so proud of myself for not only trying, but pretty much finishing everything too. After dinner, I got changed and I went down to the bar.
Good morning. I had such a good day yesterday. I felt super adventurous in everything that I did, and I want to share about the bath. So in the basement of the hotel is a shared bath. There's one for women and one for men, and I've never used anything like that before, and I really wanted to. It's the reason I booked this hotel. So after dinner, I came upstairs and I got changed and I went down to the bathhouse, and it was really nice. At first I was just like a little uncomfortable. I've never been around that many naked women before. We were all in the changing room, like either getting out or into our clothes. But in the bath, there were only like 5 other women. So it wasn't really crowded. Everyone had their own space, which was really nice. And the water was so warm. It was, what was it, it was probably like 106 degrees or like 41 degrees. Yeah, I probably only stayed in the bath for maybe like 10-ish minutes. It was really hot, and because it was indoor, all that steam in the air was like still in the same space. So I was getting very hot very fast, but it was really relaxing. It felt good to just like lay in water. Yeah, I definitely recommend an experience like that if you find yourself in Japan. So yeah, I'm just about ready to get dressed for the day, head out. I've got my tea ceremony at 11, so I'll be heading down towards that area, checking it out a little bit beforehand, and then going to my tea ceremony, which is very exciting. So I'm hoping that today is just as fun and maybe a little less adventurous. I could use some familiarity today.
So first thing in the morning, I head towards Kyoto Imperial Palace. It opens at 9 and they have this nice little walking path that you can take around the grounds. I talked to some other English speakers who were also visiting, but honestly it was just a beautiful morning walk and it was great to see some of the old architecture and paintings. Afterwards, I went to Starbucks to chill out for a while before heading to my tea ceremony appointment. I first got changed into a kimono and I think I looked amazing. I made good choices. I couldn't record the ceremony, but it was my favorite thing I did in Kyoto. In the evening, I went to Starbucks to study for a bit, and then afterwards I went to go grab dinner. I ended up going to a ramen restaurant, and it was one of those vending machine self-service places that I had mentioned earlier. The ramen was delicious. I ordered it exactly as they recommended, and then I went to the hotel bar and I tried a beer flight.
Good morning. I'm here in Ninazaka, and it is beautiful. It's definitely uphill, so if you're not someone who likes walking uphill, then maybe catch a taxi up here. But everyone on the tour blog says to come here in the morning because there are less tourists. And while that is true, it is also so quiet. And like, the sun feels amazing. So I'm gonna walk around, look for some cool things to see. So I just finished my walk and now I've come back and I've packed my bag up. I am ready to check out of the hotel. So after this, I will head to Kyoto Station and check my bag there for a few hours, and then I will go to Fushimi Inari Shrine. And after that, I might grab a lunch and then head home. I'm really looking forward to heading home. I think that's a good sign of a good trip, that I've done what I want to do, I've had a good time, and now I'm ready to just go and relax in my own place.
If you are able to, I highly recommend this hike. It was beautiful all the way through, and you got some great views. There were also tons of rest areas, so if you ever wanted to take a break and get a soda, there were shops up there selling them.
I am at 1.5 miles. And my legs feel like jelly. Finally, we're going downhill. I just finished my hike up the mountain. I did make it to the top point. It took me about 70 minutes and I walked about 3 miles. So my legs are jelly, but I feel amazing and I am so hungry for some lunch.
For lunch, I went back towards the Sanjo shopping arcade and I found this little stand that sells red bean fish. Ultimately, there weren't any restaurants that stood out to me for lunch, so I ended up going back to the station and having lunch there before heading back home on the Shinkansen.
So that was my trip. So one of my greatest difficulties when coming to Japan was just how anxious everything made me. And it's been really holding me back in a lot of my everyday life. With this trip, I just found myself being so much more adventurous and willing to go with the flow than I have been in months, years. And it was really what I needed. So I'm hoping that I can take that same energy with me into my everyday life and hopefully just live a little more fearlessly from now on. I think that'll be really good. If you have any questions about Japan or Kyoto or my experience there, comment, ask me, let me know, and yeah. Bye, George.